but I kind of feel like sometimes facilitation and project-based learning and some of these more progressive philosophies of teaching are kind of used as a cop-out to avoid requiring the teacher to be an expert or to be someone who comes in with a lot of community capital or someone who comes in with a lot to offer. Sometimes it seems like, say, oh, well, you don't know any of this, but that's okay because you're going to learn alongside the students and it'll be emergent, and that's okay because you're facilitating. That's true to a point, but also it's lateral. It's not above the students, but the teacher needs to be a different kind of collaborator than a peer is most of the time. Sometimes, I mean, I'm not going to ever say that everything needs to be one way, but I worry a little bit. I was going back to the professional development piece, that sometimes people come in and they say, well, you got to teach computer science now. And it's okay that you don't know anything about computer science because you're going to be learning alongside the kids. And great, please learn alongside the kids. But also, is that really going to be a good experience for the kids? I don't know. Maybe.
It depends. When you are positioning yourself as a co-learner or facilitating or however you want to describe it, you also at some point need to know where you're going, where you can go and where you cannot go, or you're just going to run into walls or troubles that are not necessary for students to engage in. So as an example, there was a Scratch project that a kid was working on and they really wanted to do this thing. And I was like trying to give them space to experiment with it. It eventually got to a point where it's like, oh, well, that very specific thing you're trying to do, you actually can't do very well in Scratch because I've tried doing it before. So here's an alternative thing that I'm going to guide you towards. Yeah. And because I knew that, I was able to prevent hours of frustration trying to get this thing to work for them. So that's just kind of an example. Like, you need to know where you're going down the road, but you don't necessarily need to be the expert and all-knowing, I can answer every question kind of a thing. There are many times where like I'd come back the next day and be like, okay, I thought about your question some more and here's what I found out. Here's the process I took to figure out that question or the answer to the question.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's got to be a balance, as in all things.